What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology retold action. It's time here in the right-hand corner of the map playing as Gaia. His name is Magic. His opponent today in the left-hand corner of the map playing as Set. His name is Kvoth. This is the losers bracket semi-finals. What does that mean? Well, it means both of these players have lost once and they're on their last lifeline. But they win this one, they go to the losers bracket finals, which is one more step away from the grand finals. So these guys are so close right now. Bit of a history here. Kvoth already played Magic once in this tournament, and Kvoth 3-0'd Magic. However, I have to say, the past couple of games I've watched from Magic have been a completely different Magic. Magic jumped into this tournament, played a really, really rough series against Mini Yeti, which personally I think Mini Yeti probably should have won. He made one or two too many mistakes in that final game. If you remember back, it was like I think it was an Uranus versus Ra on step from memory, and Magic was able to clinch that, and then sort of carried that like not quite preparedness through into his matchup with Kvoth. Then Kvoth 3-0'd him, absolutely dominating performance, and something seemed to have been awakened inside of Magic. And so far through the losers bracket, Magic has been performing exceptionally, and I expect that to continue forward here. However, Kvoth has also been performing exceptionally. He had a great run against the Mister. Obviously, not able to beat the guy who has been unbeatable thus far, but had a great series against the Mister, and obviously had a great series against El Matador as well. So he's obviously ready to go here in this one, and we'll see how things are going to go. I do have to make one quick note that this is incredibly late in the evening for Kvoth. Kvoth is Pakistani, I believe. So yes, incredibly late in the evening, and I'm sure he's very, very tired, but he's going to push through it for us, and we'll see how he's going to go. Set versus Gaia on Giza here. Let's take a quick look at the map and see if there's anything that can happen here. On the top side of the map here, Magic's got himself just the one Rhino. He's got himself some forests over here. He does have a really, really nice back gold mine, and Kvoth here scouting that out. He sees his own back gold mine, so it's not going to be a surprise for him. But in seeing this gold mine, this really has to make him panic just a little bit, because it makes things very, very difficult in terms of how you're going to actually win this game. Magic here going through Oceanus, and we are seeing Tar. The reason I say that is if Set can't find the advantage early against Gaia, Gaia's just going to win. It's a bit of a stat check. It's a bit of an eco check. The guy's economy goes through the roof, and Set can't really keep up. There is a point in the game where if Set can make it there, then Set's going to be okay, which is if Set can get to Horus without being completely dead in the game, then yeah, you can get those Horus Spears out, you can get those Horus Axemen out, you can make chariots with the Citadel, and you can bring it back. But you have to, like, there's this bit of this ebb and flow that goes through the matchup, and there's some things that Set needs to accomplish in order to find an advantage here. That being said, I'm definitely sure that Kvoth can make that happen. We'll see if he's going to be able to do so, as Magic, at the moment, he is prepared to go for a fast second town center. He is sending 2 hero citizens over here. This is very, very greedy against Set. I would not recommend this. If Kvoth is playing this one correctly, he's got 3 villages on the barracks for the time being. He drops the vision. The citizens will be retreating back home for the time being. Kvoth will notice that. He will see the counter barracks here. Lots of villages now on the wood and the gold, but Kvoth's got to know what's going on. The thing that I'm not liking so far about what's happened here in the early game from Kvoth is he didn't use his Pharaoh to empower up this barracks, which means it's much later than it otherwise should be. One baboon of Set over here. Magic's already gotten away with this sort of stuff a few times. He goes up onto the town center, and a baboon or something wanders in. Kvoth wanting to use Shifting Sands, but it's just not gonna, she's just gonna snipe the baboon and it's not gonna be quick enough. Now let's see what else Kvoth has actually got here. He's not taking all too many risks as the hyena and the baboon of Set gonna be making their way in. The units over here starting to pile up on this spot here. Town center at 60 seconds until completion. The baboons of Set will spot this. Magic here, not noticing just yet. There's the shifting sands to come through. The citizens popping up. The Carnivora does get placed. No way to really take this position out just yet as the spearmen get pulled back, and a great denial here, but not a huge... It is a pretty big deal. This is the kind of damage that Kvoth really needs. He needed to keep this one down. The priests are in now. Probably can drop some obelisks down here to just make sure that everything is okay here, as one hero Caraballister to come in will be enough, in all honesty, to make these units need to pull away. As does Kvoth have the wood to get some slingers out across the map in order to deal with those Caraballister? It's going to be a little bit tricky here, as Kvoth's Wadgets, what is he doing? Drops one Wadget, not paying attention there. Could have pulled it back and healed it up, but just wasn't paying attention. And Magic now can pull back over and get his town center up. Really, really nice play here from Magic. He's played around the shifting sands beautifully, didn't lose a single citizen, and he's got his Caraballister out, and he's going to be able to defend this position. As now the Slinger Spearmen do manage to get in, looking for a citizen kill here. One citizen kill is going to be very, very nice. He picks one off, and he has to get out of there. Oh, 7 HP remaining. Loses one Spearman for that. Townsend are now coming up for Kvoth. I don't mind this here from Kvoth, but this is not the quote-unquote stock standard play here from Set. The reason why I don't mind this is because he's got a little bit of damage, which means he's kind of leveled the playing field, so to speak, just a little bit. He's gotten a citizen kill. He killed off a 30% completed town center, so some serious resources lost. Idled to hero citizen for quite some time. But realistically here, normally Set just wants to continue down the path of the one town center push and start really putting pressure onto this gold mine and trying to deny this back gold mine here. Maybe slipping in a villager onto the back and walling it off or something could be an idea. But nonetheless, with this town center up, Kvoth is actually going to be playing for more of that late game we were talking about with the Horus angle, which does give Magic all the time in the world, all the room in the world to make something happen. He's got so much time here to play with, and I'll say the damage was decent, but it's not enough to win a game. It's enough to give yourself a slight advantage, but you're still going to have to build on that. And the way that Magic plays, I'm sure he's going to be able to find a way through here. As the Spearman roaming around here, trying to find oracles and things. Looks like Magic pulls back his oracle nicely into his main base. Another oracle over here might get spotted, but already getting pulled back. Can he? Oh, he gets the surround. A beautiful surround onto that oracle there. If anyone wants to know how this is done, the Spearmen are using box formation, not line formation. So, excuse me. So with the Spearmen using box formation, they can get a full surround onto an oracle like that, just with 5 of them. Really nice. Nice dukes there with the Kvoth Spearman, and he will be able to get out of there, dodging out that Caladria snare. Pacify. As now Magic is onto this back gold mine. I'd love to see like either Gaia Forest or a building. That's perfect. That's no need to put a Gaia Forest down. Just put an armory down on that spot. Perfect. Completely locking this position off. And then he only has to worry about the entrance from over here, of which he sees everything coming in here. He's got a nice mana to come up on this spot. But yeah, he's going to see everything coming for him. So no real way for Kvoth to get in there. As Kvoth is going to be angling to go to the heroic age. And same too for Magic. No real surprises where that's concerned. As a couple more barracks to come up now for Kvoth. Thea, the god of choice here for Magic. I almost thought he was almost thinking about going through Rhea here. I don't mind the idea of Rhea, just on the fact that you can... Set doesn't really want to build a whole lot of priests. There's 3 priests out right now, but you can easily snipe those with a big all-in push, especially if you mix in Contarius and things like that. But yeah, the better play 9 times out of 10 is Thea. Get access to the Dryads, giving yourself that population edge, utilizing your economy or your boosted wood economy on those Gaia trees to afford all of those Dryads out. Can be a really, really nice way to play. As Magic is going very, very aggressive out onto this position. He does have a handful of units here, but I think this is maybe a little bit... Maybe I'm getting too used to watching players like the Mister, but one thing here that Kvoth has not been really able to set up, because of maybe the second town center and all this stuff, is he hasn't been able to set up those obelisks all around the map. So he doesn't know these villages are out on this food, and Magic is getting away with it there. As Kvoth going to be pulling back. Segment halfway completed. They are almost finished there as well. Walls coming all around the map here. Very important to do so. Dealing with the Contarius raids is going to be really, really tricky for Kvoth to move forward. He's going to need spearmen. He's got the spearmen kind of out, just a handful of them. But he's gone very much into a whole bunch of slingers, which I've played enough set to know you really don't want to go too heavy on those slingers. As the units do pop in here, the priest's going to be able to snipe down that carnivore nice and quickly. The Caraballas are getting sniped down. The sling is able to take out the Terma on the back here as well. So he does get a nice amount of advantage with this, as the Carnivora still not actually down there. Wow, he just didn't die. He actually picked off 2 units with that special, plus slowing everything else down, as Kvoth needs to pull back now. He's in the heroic age. He has his Citadel Center. Electron bullets to come through. And a whole bunch more barracks on the way. Now, Magic here, he is going to be going in with the Contarius. We've actually seen, I think we saw this matchup, not this exact matchup, we saw Magic's Gaia versus Kvoth's Ra last time. And he went fully in onto Contarius, even though it was mass spearmen versus those Contarius, as we do see a villager getting spotted out here, a third town center coming up. This is a completely different situation now for Kvoth. So he's got a whole bunch of slingers, and this will mean that pure Contarius are going to be a really, really good idea. We've already got the economic upgrades coming in of Carpenters and Quarry here. Absolutely huge to grab those this early on, and Magic's economy is just going to skyrocket here. And the fact of the matter is, he can do this because Kvoth has no real ability to control or push the map at this point. Kvoth needs a whole bunch of siege towers or something like that. He needs a full army to deal with those Contarius, which are mostly going to be needing to be spearmen. And Magic, very smartly now, also going to be making himself some Arcus, as the Contarius slipping through here. Going to be looking to try and take out the Pharaoh, I guess, but he does kind of get caught out here. There's no real way to leave this position for the time being, but I mean, he can just distract, which is all he wants. He's on 3 town centers. He's got basically got three third tier economic upgrades. So his economy absolutely stonking. And the only real advantage which Egyptian has at this point over Atlantean is the ability to spam units. So they have to really take a lot of good fights and then re-spam and then force another fight right after that initial fight, which I don't think Magic is really concerned about. He's still got back gold, mining that one nicely, still 3,000 in that. Up on the top, gold mine over here. Now moving over onto this position. Mana's coming up all over on the map, so he's got all of that Gaia spread. Does he have himself the channels upgrade? Doesn't have channels just yet, so missing out on that one is pretty important. But nonetheless, decides to charge in here, take this fight. Those Arcus are getting targeted down nicely. Good little pullback from Magic as he keeps the Arcus alive for just a little bit, dodging those slingers as well. Nice micro there as well, as now Kvoth, he's going to get pushed back. This Contarius army, when you're going half slinger, half spearman, just never going to be able to get beaten. You have to basically be pure spearman to beat up on this thing, as Magic is now so far in front. As onto this side, the Contarius retreating back, but they have found some villages here. If Magic is paying attention, he is paying attention. He's always paying attention. 2 villagers getting sniped down. Magic completely in the driver's seat right now, as he's going to come through, break down the wooden gate onto this position and try and take out the town center and everything behind this. There's a couple of spearmen now coming through. Is the Arcus going to get just a little bit of damage done from afar here? As the army of Kvoth, it is looking powerful. He's nearly at full population here. Doesn't have enough favor for a Citadel here. Would have loved that Citadel on the outward position. Tries to get the villagers in to block off there with a bit of a ghost building. Not going to be able to do so, but nonetheless, Magic still taking this fight. as the Contarius numbers are falling. The Slingers are on the correct units on the back here, trying to chase forward and snipe as many of those Arcus as he possibly can here. More Spearmen coming through. But look at the queue for Magic. He's got so many units incoming, as the population, though, militarily speaking, is favoring Kvoth at the moment, but he needs priests, he needs units and things. That being said, even though the population is equal, it doesn't take into account the fact that there's Dryads here. And that's a big, big difference maker. 8 Dryads, you're looking at something like 27, 20, 24 population there just inside of those, as now he can just charge after the town center. Fortified town centers is now in, and Kvoth needs to continue fighting underneath all of this. He is dropping in population as a whole bunch of priests do manage to come in, trying to take out the Dryads and everything else here. But Magic getting very close to taking the town center down. He has to pull back, overcommitting just that little bit too much here. The other thing here for Magic is he could be making out a couple more of those Stymphalian birds. They're doing a lot of really, really good damage in the sky here. As the priests getting taken out, more of those Dryads can come through very, very quickly. It's just so much economy for Magic here, as Kvoth desperately trying to hold for the time being. Is the priest able to take down another one of those Dryads? The town center is still alive for Kvoth. His population is so low now, making a couple of those mercenary cavalry. They are pretty good at actually taking out archers, as the Spearman going to be able to clean up the Contarius a little bit, and Kvoth manages to survive for the time being. This is what he needs. He needs to survive and just keep on getting those villages up, maybe start a trade route, and just continue to get closer and closer to that Mythic Age. I talked about it already. The big difference maker here is Horus. If you can get to Horus, he gets those Horus Spearmen. The Contarius become much easier to deal with. And then you can get out Chariot Archers, or you can get out, keep going with Slingers to deal with the Arcus and everything like that. Avengers as well. Very, very good at dealing with the Archer Ball. But one thing is coming for Kvoth, and that's going to be Atlas. We've also got the 3rd tier of farming upgrades also coming through for Magic as well. Compare that over to Kvoth. Kvoth is missing himself Hand Axe for the time being. He does have himself Shaft Mine. He does have himself Irrigation for the farms. But obviously being set, not being Gaia, don't have access to those Mythic Age economic upgrades until you're in the Mythic Age. Huge advantage for Magic for the time being. As we actually do see a couple of Destroyers here. They're kind of naked though. It's very rare to see a naked Destroyer. Just have a little bit of an admire of this bad boy. Hello there. And there he goes. Now he's got some armor. There's the Spearman coming through. Those Arcus doing some great damage from afar. The Spearmen do have themselves that upgrade leather frame shield. We take a quick look at it. Leather frame shield just here. Does give him an extra 15% pierce armor. Very, very nice. As Kvoth trying to micro this one. He's doing a great job of it with those Slingers constantly taking down Arcus. But he doesn't have that heavy Slinger upgrade, which I think is really, really important. An extra range, putting them up to 19. It's such a big difference. One range makes so much difference. As Kvoth charges forward, not controlling that one. Magic getting so much damage done with his own archers against the counter archers. Finally starting to attack there. And Magic does say, all right, time to pull out. And you can actually space 18 range versus 20 range. You can space those Slingers. The Slingers do move slightly faster than the Arcus, but nonetheless, coming back over onto this town center, Magic attacking multiple different positions on this map at once. Magic's going to be able to clean up the town center nice and quickly here. And these Contarius to pull back for the time being. He can't really finish this position off, but if he continues to hang out here, he will have himself access to implode, and that's going to kill everything off for Kvoth. He doesn't even want to wait for it. He knows what's coming. He knows he hasn't been trading all too well, and he does decide to tap out. And you look at this, and you just take a look at the military. It's just too much in favor of Magic here. Resources, I don't even want to look. Just close your eyes right now. Ugh. it's such a gigantic advantage for Magic. And that's all from those upgrades, right? And that's all from the fact that Kvoth decided to take this down the route of a 2 town center versus 2 town center game. He got some damage done, but that was it. And then he's like, all right, I did a little bit of damage. Let me get my town center. It's just not how it works. I don't think that's how it works for the set here. The other angle is to rush up a really, really quick 3 town center and then try and deny the 3rd town center of the Gaia player so that at least you've got a little bit of an economic edge over them. But yeah, I don't know about this 2 town center hold angle. Maybe with some better control, he might have been able to hold. Maybe, and then he can get, like I said, if he gets to the Mythic Age, he gets Horus, sure, he's going to be okay, but it's just such a difficult thing with that much of a economic advantage over the guy has over the set. I do think you need to just take that big advantage early and try and get damage done. You don't necessarily have to win the game in all that moment, but just continuing to get damage done and slowing down the economy, slowing down the heroic age of the guy are also really important because that's where they get the quarry, carpenters, flood control, and all that stuff is just such a big deal. Nonetheless, first game for Magic, well done. We'll move into game number 2. Hope you guys are having fun watching the tournament with me. And remember, if you're still with me right now, tomorrow it's going to be the entirety of the finals. We're going to be doing losers bracket finals. We're going to be doing winners. We're going to be doing winners bracket finals, losers bracket finals, and then the grand finals. So make sure you're there at 1400 GMT. But we'll move into the next one now. Game number 2, and where I go in the left-hand corner of the map, playing as Fushi. His name is Magic. In the right-hand corner of the map, playing as Uranus. His name is Kvoth. The map is Step. And we're going to be stepping into this one. I'm sorry. I just had to do. I couldn't help myself. First game they're going not to the Uranus, but to the current Fushi player, Magic. He's up 1-0 in this best of 5. And we'll see how things are going to go here. Over here, we've got some relics. Let's quickly go over these before we touch on how this game might start to go. We've got System of Bast over here. Villagers being a little bit cheaper. Over on this side, we've got Scales of Echidna. Love this relic for Uranus. Absolutely love it. Must grab relic there. Over onto this one, Arrows of the Alpha. And up on the top side of the map, we do have Eye of Ornlu, going to be boosting up those counter infantry units there. Okay, let's talk about this matchup, because this is what everybody and their mum knows right now. Fushi is a powerhouse god. So how do you beat Fushi? Well, first and foremost, we've got to stop. We absolutely have to stop the boom. So I am not going for a 2 town center here ever with Uranus. It's just not something that I can go for. It's not something that I believe in. It's not something I believe is possible. I don't think you can do it. So this means 1 town center and go. Now, maybe there's some 2 town center maps, but if you do 2 town centers, you're giving all of the opportunity over to the Fushi player to defend their map and get themselves the possibility of making it to the Mythic Age. And if they do get to the Mythic Age, now we're asking the question of how do we deal with Yang Wick the Third, John Wick the original, and all the problems that are going to come with that. So there is a big problem for Uranus to have to deal with here. However, I do think that Uranus is one of the stronger picks here in order to actually deny the China player from actually getting anything done. So we'll see how it's going to go. The reason why I say that is, well, you've got Terma to deal with Pioneers. You've got lots of really powerful Prometheans that can be mixed in to sort of tank. You don't have to go with Mermillo kind of at all. You can just go mass Terma, and then you can do a big fat wave of Contarius with stuff like that in the Heroic Age, and just kind of blow the Chinese player off the map. We are seeing Zhen Nu coming through. Magic has been very good with his Chinese thus far. I'm sure he's got some plans here to deal with the Atlantean menace. I'm excited to sort of watch and understand how he plays it, because it's going to be very important. But Zhen Nu, definitely the god of choice. Makes a lot of sense here. as you get Vanish and you get some other really powerful myth units with the Chillin and all the other good stuff. We are seeing Prometheus coming through here for Kvoth. But we'll see how things are going to go. Now, there is one idea here for the Chinese, which does kind of break through a lot of what the Uranos play might be wanting to go for. As we do have some walls to come up over here already from Kvoth. It's so defensive. The idea would be to go in for javelins, javelineers, and halberdiers. Javelineer, halberdier will be really powerful against mass Terma. But then you've got Murmillo transitions where you have to really be careful. Even though it's really powerful, it's still going to be a difficulty to deal with. And then, yeah, the Murmillo transition you have to be ready for to make sure you're getting those fire archers out. And it's just, you have to really be watching what your opponent's doing and countering their unit composition perfectly. Nonetheless, Nejar is now out. This thing is so good at putting early game pressure on. I love that Magic has rushed this out. I think that not enough Chinese players have been doing that. Fushi players have been doing this. I think it's really powerful. He hasn't actually really grabbed himself an extra Deuterino just yet, an extra Hualfu, grabbing himself a military camp now. Grabbing himself 2 military camps now. As... Whoop. Hello there, Promethean offspring. What are you doing here? Not sure how you got there, not sure why you're there, but you are. As 3 Terma are now queued up for Kvoth. I'm a little bit worried that he hasn't really pumped the counter barracks out just yet. I would have thought he would have probably gone at least a counter barracks and a military barracks and start making some units here, but not the case just yet, as the Nejar is now in. The villagers, they can turn and shank a little bit because he does have Valor. But one thing that Magic can do here is he doesn't have to just attack one. He can get 1 attack off, and you can see already down to 83 HP. So if he just comes in, smack, then all of a sudden Valor starts becoming a little bit less of a safety net there as an idea. But nonetheless, he's pulling his Nejar back, realizing there's the Terma out in the main base here. We're now seeing a military barracks. So Kvoth is going both ways here. He is making the Prometheans out as well, though he doesn't have quite the favor to make a huge amount of them, but making just a couple to kick the game off with, as Magic is now looking to push forward. This opening from Kvoth is just so obscenely slow. Is my big worry for him, because it's going to allow Magic to get all of this pressure on the chickens and berries out in the open here. Is going to be another big problem for him. He hasn't built a Sky Passage. He's not out on to hunt just yet, as the Terma are trying to get some damage done there. But this Chillin, healing everything up. Love to see that. Can't get those like tiny little like snipes off. You actually have to completely kill the unit. But we'll see if he can get there. Is he now making himself out a Murmillo? And it's going to be, it seems, Mass Wuzu Javelineer to kick the game off with. He is making a couple of halberdiers as well. They are pretty scary, but without Chi Yo and without that that snare damage, it's very difficult there. But nonetheless, up onto the top side of the map, the Terma swinging around, looking to take out some peasants and all the other good stuff over here. No, as Magic has to pull back ever so slightly. And Magic will be over here to get a little bit of damage. Kvoth not paying attention, takes a lot of arrow fire there. Those Javelineers, they do technically hard counter the Terma, as one does end up going down. But we're seeing another raid over onto this side, trying to take out the Hualfu here. Not going to be able to quite kill it off, but getting some nice idle time, as Kvoth needs to just pull back away. Losing too many units. But nonetheless, the real timing here, the real game plan for Kvoth has got to be just on that second gold mine. That's where he needs to apply all the pressure. He doesn't necessarily have to win the game there, but he needs to take a big fight there. And why does he have to take a big fight there? Well, if he doesn't, then that means Magic can go Heroic Age. That means Magic can probably go Mythic Age. No problems. So he has to take a big fight. And whether he wins or loses the fight, he has to just keep fighting. There's no real other way, shape, or form that it's gonna work out for him. So he's got to get those units out. He is pumping them. He's getting himself Murmillo, Terma, Prometheans. I don't necessarily mind the Murmillos to come out here. Magic at the moment looks like he's trying to get to the heroic age. And one idea here for Kvoth is if he sniffs that heroic age out, he's got to stop making Prometheans altogether and just go everyone into a hero. If he gets all of his units into a hero, then all of a sudden there's going to be no problems with that heroic age. Now, that being said, there is also not access to Fey Beast, so he probably doesn't even have to worry about it that much. But if he just goes full heroes and he gets the big boost up in stats on top of like line upgrades, so it's like he doesn't need to go heroic age, is what I'm trying to say. He doesn't have to be there. He can get medium archers, medium infantry, and heroize everything. And that's kind of getting himself up to heavy units. It can be really hard to kill those units as well as the Fushi player. But nonetheless, it is Golmang. And one thing here that's good for Magic is he's got the gold already coming in on the Peach Blossom Spring. Obviously knows a little bit of extra gold goes a really, really long way here. And that's what he's going to go for. It looks like he might just be trying to go one town center to the Mythic Age, which absolutely terrifying, but we'll see if it's going to work or not, because with all of the Prometheans and everything, he might just be able to walk in and just break the town center, which is another interesting idea. He might try and do that. At least I think, well, if Magic's going to go that way, it's probably going to be the right idea to just sort of charge in. These towers, I feel like players are overestimate exactly how much damage these do, and now we see the Prometheans charging forward to take out the temple. Only a handful of units here for Magic at the moment, as the Wildfu are going to come back and probably go over onto that Peach Blossom Spring, trying to wait it out as long as he possibly can. Can drop a quick palace into his, or ballet into his main base. He's going to be doing that as we're going to see the Imperial Academy getting taken out. Kvoth has got, he's realizing he's on a bit of a timer here. He's spending all of his resources trying to go because he knows that something's coming. And you've also got to remember that there's going to be Great Flood as well to defend. And is that the Mythic Age? Yeah, there's Gong Gong to come through. And now Magic can jump onto his Peach Blossom String. He's gotten away with so much here. I feel like I don't understand why Kvoth is pulling back here. There's no units in this space. Yes, there is this this kind of forest protection god power here. But realistically, Kvoth doesn't have the time. He has to say, we're just going to go for it right now, or resign. Because he doesn't have... Well, what's he going to use to kill off John Wick? I hate to say it. What's he going to use to kill off John Wick? And he's waiting so long. He's at 155 population, still pumping units out. He's got to know that this is coming. Another temple coming up for Magic to try and get himself his Mythic Age myth unit as well. As all the units now coming through. Big Tao Wu getting some good damage done. And now Kvoth is so late on this attack. I don't know if he's got the pushing power here to quite break through. He's basically got a right click on the town center, and Magic is now coming around. Oops, he's finishing up on that Peach Blossom Spring, but Kvoth is just not able to break through here. I think he's got the units. I think if he didn't pull back, he would have probably been able to kill off the town center, and stop the Mythic Age. But nonetheless, Magic has now gotten everything that he needed here. And what can Kvoth do? Kvoth trying to break down the temple, denying the big bad Qinglong for just a little bit. As another temple going to get put up over here. But Gong Gong is in, and Magic can just basically use his tsunami, his Great Flood, and just push all these units right in underneath the ballet and underneath everything, as there's the Great Flood to come through, pushing everything further into this base, as everything getting cleaned up down to 100 population. Immediately we see Yang Jian to come through, and Kvoth's army and hopes in this game are done for. Magic gets his fast mythic off. Magic gets all of these upgrades through. He's getting himself... He's got his big bad boy here. Where is he? Here he comes. He's straight out. and he's ready to go. Kvoth, on the other hand, a whole bunch of hero Terma to try and take out the Qinglong, but come on. Where do you go now as the Uranos? As the White Horse Cavalry coming over, going to snipe one citizen. Qinglong just getting more damage done. There's our big bad boy on the way forward now. And Magic almost doesn't have to build another unit here. I mean, he's going to, obviously. It's actually making Tiger Cavalry incredibly expensive at this point in the game. But these things absolutely decimate Terma. Because they got double the bonuses. 1.5x versus archers, 1.5x versus cavalry. So it's double the damage. And in that moment, Kvoth does tap out. Like, he knows what he was trying to do, but I think his timing was just off. It was just off. Kvoth needed to basically throw everything at Magic at about 10 minutes into the game. The main base isn't that much protection with what units he had. I don't think it's that much protection. He should have just been bashing in here, trying to push off of this gold mine. It was at the front, but Kvoth just sort of waited. I feel like he wasn't really applying the pressure that an Urano player can apply. Especially given the Prometheus option that he went for. He just pushes in, breaks everything down, gets in, takes the town center down, kills off villagers, denies a Mythic Age. That's what he needed. He needed to actually fight. But he just kind of let Magic do what he wanted there. It's a very, very, very interesting game. Really good to learn from. You can actually see, you know, in these tournaments, sometimes you can just get away with things. Like players, they don't have omniscience like we do as the casters, but even then, you still have to be constantly thinking, okay, what is my opponent's goal? Well, my opponent's goal is to get to the Mythic Age. Okay, how do I deny that? Well, if I can prevent this gold mine from getting grabbed, if I can prevent this Peach Blossom Spring from getting grabbed, all of that sort of stuff, that's what you have to go for. But Kvoth couldn't quite get that done here, and Magic manages to find the dub. Well played. And we'll move into game number 3 and see if Kvoth can bring it back. Alrighty, game number 3 here. Magic 1 win away from getting to that losers finals. 1 win away from being 1 step away from making it all the way to the grand finals. We'll see if he can keep it up here in this one. He is going to be playing for us Shenong in this game. Kvoth now 1 win from being out of this tournament. Tournament life on the line. Picking Isis on the map Arena. I love this map. It changes everything. It really does. It's a really, really exciting difference to see in Age of Mythology. You know, there's so many small things that you have to worry about in a standard map, and Arena takes away those, so then you can go all in on other sort of strategies. There's a lot of room for creativity here. And we are going to be seeing Kvoth actually playing some Isis. I think this is the first time we've seen Isis on this map. I think I saw Ra maybe here once so far, but not yet Isis. And let's talk about this, because we've seen Shenong here a lot. Shenong is the, I don't know, it's the pick. It's the pick for Arena because of how powerful Shenong's late game is. You make these Dao Swordsmen, you go through Rush Shou, and you go through Huang Di. You make these Dao Swordsmen, and they just cause a lot of problems. And the thing is, really, while Shenong is very, very strong when he gets there, he's really weak before then. Like, he doesn't have what Noir has in like the auto build, in the Hero Quaofu and all that other good stuff. He doesn't have like the Fushi Peach Blossom Spring to help him out, or the Neja to help him out. He's just kind of got 3 myth units. And that's nice and all, but it's not the be all and end all, so to speak. So what can Isis do here to get a really big advantage? Well, realistically, I don't think you can make a 1 town center all-in work. What I do think you can do, though, is make a 2 town center all-in work. Heroic Age and full send. Chariot Archers, Siege Tower, Priests. Make sure you have the Priests in to deal with the Fey Beasts. And it's going to be a really tough hold for the Shenong player. Especially if they're going to go for some sort of a fast Mythic. And if they do go for a fast Mythic, you have to be prepared for the Yinglong. And if you can get through that, and get the full map control, then you're going to be good to go. And I do think that ISIS has got that potential, as we'll see here what is actually going to happen. But 2 monuments already in for Kvoth and a house to come down. I'm a little surprised on this. I think it's better here on this map to be grabbing the really, really important town center and getting your favor in later. Because if there's one thing that China can do, it's deny a town center with a whole bunch of those pioneers. But you can realistically just... They can't deny the town center if you advance fast enough. So what Kvoth is doing here is totally fine. It depends on what he's going to do after this. It depends on what Magic's going to do. But it does open him up to some problems if Magic is ready to exploit them. Nonetheless, the temple coming up, it's going to be a 4:45, it looks like, for Kvoth, or even a 5-minute advance time. Looks like it's going to be a 5-minute advance, 4:45 here. And he's going through Anubis. Wow. Okay, Anubis, they got a choice. This is a surprise to me. This is a really big surprise to me. I legitimately don't like the Anubis here. The reason I don't like the Anubis is mostly, what are you going to do with it? Come in and raid the wood line, I guess? Jump over the walls? You're missing out on Eclipse, you're missing out, but more importantly, you're missing out on Sacred Cats, and you're missing out on ads of Wet, which is going to boost that income so that you can hit your timings much, much harder. But nonetheless, it will be Anubis. And he will have access to, I guess, some spearmen, some stronger spearmen, which might help him out against Tiger Cavalry if they're going to come out at any point. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it's going to go. Nonetheless, no surprise. Well, there's a little bit of a surprise for Magic. He didn't actually go through Hal 2. He's going for Chi Yo instead. So I'm surprised to see that as well, as he does make a handful of Yatsu here, as his idea is to clean up all these obelisks and potentially put some pressure onto those outer town centers. As what is Kvoth going to do behind this? He's got the gold for a town center. He does have an obelisk over on this town center. The Pioneer to wander forward. Grabbing himself Eye of Horus here. Dropping in the Pygmalion statue as Ring of Nibelung. Grabbing all those relics up. And now the villagers will make their way out onto this second town center. I am like this is, it's really odd. You're watching these games and I know that there's so much stuff going through these guys' heads about how the matchup plays and the things they have to play around. But this is a really late town center here from Kvoth. And an interesting move here from Magic. He's got the Shedong farms down. He's got 2 pioneers over here. The town center here will go up. These farms aren't where he wanted them. I thought he was going to put the farms directly underneath these guys, as we do have the serpents getting placed down. Another Yatsu to come in as the Gualfu retreat. This is really good. Wow, this is so good for Kvoth here. But because Magic just misplaced his farms or something. I'm not sure exactly why. As the peasants come, oh not the peasants, the serpents causing a lot of problems here. The Pharaoh are going to come through as well to help out. As the Yatsu going to get taken out over on that side. The Gualfu retreating back now underneath the Shenong farm. He has to abandon the town center. Okay, I take it all back. Anubis for the win here. Now Kvoth has to convert his gigantic advantage. We'll see if he's going to be able to do so. As the Gualfu going to now move up to the top side. Put the town center over here. There is an obelisk already over there. But the barracks is up. And Kvoth can literally just spam out spearmen, which he absolutely should be doing. Slingers, spearmen, whatever. Get over onto this spot and deny this town center. As the villagers... Can he? He absolutely can steal these. How much food does he get? That's wild. I love it. But he's got to get over here and deny this town center. He's got 45 seconds to get over. He does not have access to another Plague of Serpents here. He has not got the extra barracks down. I think he's making a gigantic mistake here, not kind of fully committing to a huge amount of classical age units to just keep Magic in his base, because Magic obviously wants a town center. As the Anubite diving in here, not going to be able to get the damage done. There's 2 priests over here as well. The one slinger, not really going to be enough. He's diving in. He's going to sack one Guardian Anubite as the Spearman to come through. Dives in, trying to kill off at least a Kvoth. He's not even going to be able to get that there. Will he get 16 HP, 7 HP, 4 HP, 3, 1 HP, and it does end up going down, but the Talent Center is now up for Magic, and those are the small things that really matter. Now, Kvoth down 3 Anubites for 1 Kvoth. The Talent Center up, and now Kvoth has to retreat all the way back as these units here are going to get some damage done. I want to see how much these guys are getting. They're getting 88.88 food per second, which is a little bit less than the villagers on the food, but it doesn't have plow. That's wild. I kind of love it though. Nonetheless, Magic wandering up onto this spot as an armor to come down. And while Kvoth's plan here has not been successful, he has dealt significant damage onto Magic. The villager differential favoring Kvoth just a little bit. Probably, I mean, it's probably similar because Magic's been pumping out Quail food non-stop. Magic's going to be able to go to the heroic age behind this pretty quickly, I'm sure. Does he have an armory? No armory. Does he have a market? No market. I'm sure there's going to be coming through as soon as he's got the resources for it, as prosperity does get dropped down for Kvoth here. And we'll see where to next. Now, the hashtag meta that I've been hearing from a lot of the top players, which as much as I want to believe them, sometimes I'm like, oh, you guys are just in your own world sometimes and missing a whole bunch of other ideas. But they say that the best way to play in these situations is just to rush Mythic Age. And then use your God powers and then try and make something happen. But realistically, there's this gigantic timing now that's been set up from that damage that Kvoth did to get in here, deny this gold mine, set Migdols up all over the place, and then just start saying, all right, let's go. Kill the town center, push him back into his main base. You're in the heroic age, no problems, but it's gonna be good. As we do see Rushol coming through, we'll see if Kvoth is gonna go for that or if he's gonna go for the Mythic Age approach. He's got so many resources in the bank. Like, he could make himself, like, 3 Migdols straight away, right in the middle here, and make a whole bunch of Elephant and just go with Ancestors Eclipse. It doesn't have Eclipse, with Ancestors. I guess that does make the timing a little bit less powerful. Nonetheless, more Slingers are coming out for the time being. And this is the problem here. He's only got a handful of Priests. You're going to need at least 5, I would say, to limit the effective damage of the Fey Beast on your army. Nonetheless, the Chongqi coming through Ancestors does get dropped down immediately as the Slingers targeting down those Pioneers. Doing some good damage there is the Chongqi. They're going to be almost taken out. And those units on the front here are going to be going down as well. We do have that Migdol Stronghold. That's completed. There's a whole bunch of those Dao Swordsmen now coming through. Magic's already got himself the resources or the favor to get himself these big Dao Swordsman upgrades as well. Divine Judgment and the shield thingy. What is it called? Gilded Shields. And that's going to make his Dao Swordsman really, really powerful. And we do already have... Yeah, Thoth is the god of choice. I think this is just giving Magic so much time here. Wasted is that you spend like so many resources on the Thoth. Like 1,200 gold. That's 2 Migdols. You could have 3 Migdols producing for this already and being basically at 200 population by the time he hits Mythic Age. Those are the things that I think matter. But nonetheless, he's going to have a Meteor. That's going to get a huge amount of damage done onto Magic's army here. But Magic is now fully set up on this side. He's getting all of his upgrades, all the time he needs to get these upgrades out. Take a look at these Dao Swordsmen now. 48% Pierce armor. And this is without a single Pierce upgrade. So they are effectively Huskal in terms of... They're 2% weaker than Huskal, I think. Wait, unless the Huskal is at 60% now. Can't remember. Nonetheless, they've got so much Pierce armor. As the army now charges in. Ready to put pressure on. We do have a nice little monument to the priest here as well. As this second prosperity looks like Kvoth going to be losing out on it. And he not going to have the favor for an immediate... what's it called? Valley of the Kings here. He needs 40 favor for it. And there's that Fey Beasts to come through. Pushing straight in. Trying to take down a whole bunch of units here. As the villagers will have to pull off. Losing all these units is not going to be nice. He can retreat into the Migdol strongholds if he wants here. But I think he's going to have to use his meteor on this. As Magic has found a great timing. He's going to take out the monument to the priests. Those Fey Beasts looking around over onto this side, looking for some villager kills. We're not going to be able to get there just yet. A couple more Camel Riders to come through as the Halberdiers are now queued up here as well. And I don't think that Kvoth wants to use his meteor here, but he might just have to because these units are just going to keep piling in. Kvoth could do with more Migdols, but he needs to wait for that favor. He's got 40 favor. What's his favor income at the moment? It's looking like 12 favor per minute. So 1 minute, less than 1 minute away from being able to actually grab that. The Pharaoh at 11 HP as well is a bit of a difficulty here as the Divine Judgment to come through. Meteor going to be getting dropped down onto this position, taking out these units beautifully here. As a population for Magic will get eviscerated, but this does mean that that meteor no longer comes in and hits this position. No longer can he do anything big. What Kvoth needs now is Siege to push forward. He is definitely on this timer, and Magic, the problem is that he doesn't have enough villagers on food. He's at 76 villages. He's going to need to get up to somewhere like 40 villages here onto food in order to make this all work. And as the map is sort of moving here, he's now going to grab himself another town center. And I mean, Kvoth can grab this town center if he wants. He's down on the bottom with a couple of units over here. But I don't think he's got the time to do that. I think he needs to be just enjoying this double production from Valley of the Kings. He's hiding the chariot archers as well. I don't know if he has time to do this. He's got to be attacking. There's a real big angle for an attack up here. He could be denying the town center. The actual units here for Magic are looking a little bit worse for numbers here at 73 pop. We'll see if Kvoth can get the units out. He's making Axemen as well up onto the top side. The divine, the divine damage. Dow Swordsman breaking through that wall pretty simply. There's nothing really on the back here for the time being. All kind of snuck around onto this wood line here. He can also leave his base, come over here and drop a lumber camp there if he likes. As the town center looks like he's going to attempt to deny this. Are the units coming over here? It looks like he's coming into his main base and trying to deal with this. As the town center looks like it's going to be completed here. 8 seconds, not enough units here to deny this one. So Magic going to be able to get himself up to that 3 town center position. Over here, villagers getting sniped down. We've got the chariot archers to come in as well. And we'll be able to deal with these units nicely as the villagers are going to be making a break for it. They do have themselves that survival equipment, so they take a little bit more damage before they die, but still relatively weak here. As Kvoth's chariot archers, no real micro on these, will allow those infantry units a lot of damage. This is kind of similar for every single archer unit. If you let the infantry get on top of them, the chariot archers will die. As some axemen do come over, and they're going to be able to deal with these units nicely. As Magic is just pumping out these infantry units to no end. Halberdier, Dow Swordsman, and go, it seems, is the idea here. How did he steal the Phoenix? Is this the... Oh, this must still be bugged. Never mind. As there's the lightning weapons to come through from Magic. This is such a powerful god power here. So many dead units. You can't fight this. You have to run away from it. The Kvoth is trying to. Is he still pumping out units? Look at the difference in military numbers now. But Magic is fighting underneath these 3 Migdol strongholds for the time being. But it doesn't look like it matters as Kvoth just can't get out units for the moment. He's trying to make Chariot Archer Axemen, which makes sense. Chariot Archers to kill off the Dow Swordsman and the Halberdiers. Same with the Axemen to kill off everything. Doesn't have any upgrades for the Axemen just yet. Only really has 3 barracks up as well. Lots and lots of resources in the queue here. But getting those units out is going to be very, very tough. And Magic's going to have to notice that these Axemen are coming out. Maybe making some White Horse Cavalry might not be a terrible idea here. Just to mix in. I know a lot of people are like, you don't build, there's no point in building these units because you don't have no upgrades for your cavalry. But even so, you still build cavalry when it's good to build cavalry. Like New Wild's got 10% boost. You do have Huang Di, which gives a boost to your cavalry, but nonetheless, Axeman taking this fight. There's the upgrades now as Magic's army does start to struggle here. And Kvoth has found a nice little angle, it looks like, to push through. But Magic has decided now in this moment, well, I'm going to stop fighting. I'm just going to go to the heroic, the Mythic Age. He's got all the villages out. He's got all the defenses needed. Kvoth here might need to realize that this is happening and build some siege. That's going to be able to allow him to actually push forward and get something happening here. The other thing that he's going to need is a lot of priests. Because this dragon is very, very powerful. If you have the priests out, it's fine. I think. You need to have the priests out, though. Because they've got such a high range, 22 range, that are able to kill off the dragon from... Well, the dragon has to get into... the Qinglong has to get into range, and that means the priests are going to be able to take it down. So you need to get yourself out. I would say something like 10 priests is probably a nice number, especially with all the chariot archers to shoot up as well. Some terracotta riders coming through. As the chariot archers can snipe those down very, very easily. It's a bit of a funny move from Magic, just delaying, I guess. It's a big resource investment as they all get taken out. Meanwhile, over onto this side, breaking into the main base with a couple of Dao swordsmen. The tower's there to help out on that defense. As the units coming back in, a couple of White Horse cavalry should be making Kvoth a little bit concerned about his unit composition here, as he's now making some siege. He's at 200 population, though, which is a little bit late. He's finally getting himself this town center up. It's the Qinglong to come forward. Those Axemen taking a decent hit while they're running through that pool. But now we've got a whole bunch of fire archers, and that's exactly what Magic needs here to completely shut down the Axemen approach. Which will sort of... I mean, you can treat this sort of like you're playing Destroyer Arcus or something, and you just kind of pull back and allow the Axemen to fight with the chariot archers in front, but you just can't really push forward with the Axemen. You have to push forward with the chariot archers first. As the Yinglong's Wrath to come forward, everyone gets scared by 50% with that special ability. So brutal. As he's now going to be pulling back. The Yinglong is taking some significant damage here from the priest, though. There's just not quite enough of them just yet. And this does allow Magic to stabilize. He's immediately grabbing himself the Zhanyu... I can't even say it. He's getting the upgrade straight away. Grabbing himself Les Yu's Silk first and foremost. Boosts up his human soldiers by 20%. Plus the hack armor as well, mind you. Not going to be that big of a deal when you're playing against chariot archers, but a 20% HP is a huge deal, and that's onto all the human units. So the medium fire archers also become incredibly tanky as well. Magic's also got himself a trade route started. A little bit of overkill there for the time being. He's still got a decent amount of gold left on the map, but just wants to leave himself that option there. As the Yinglong comes over, takes out the catapult, and now the Yinglong going to be able to utilize this sort of forest situation to escape here. Now Kvoth going to snipe down one of the birds, but these units are now looking really powerful. Look at this, 14. When they die, just take a look. When a unit, let me see if I can get one. Yeah, it goes up to 14 damage when a unit dies a bit close to it, up from 10.8. Kind of a big boost there. But given the chariot archers can just sort of shoot and scoot, run away, they can just kite for days here, which Kvoth is doing a good job. I'm pretty sure the chariot archers do beat these fire archers in a DPS war as well. Plus, they've got more range by 2, so you can space them as well if need be. But we'll see how this is all going to go. As into the main base, the Yinglong starting to get very low on HP here, retreating out past the wood line. A very small amount of sort of units being spent here, as Magic kind of getting caught out yet again. Now down to 800 HP. I think Magic might want to bring the Yinglong back over onto here to get that snare onto these units. Because if he can, then he gets the Dao Swordsman on top of him, and it could be really, really nice. Another Fey Beast coming in. You can't run away from the Fey Beast. This is not how you do this. You just turn and shoot. You legitimately just turn and shoot. Don't run. Ah, Kvoth's going to lose everything here. He's going to lose everything. He finally turns and takes the fight now, but too little too late as the Fey Beast just completely gets a huge amount of damage onto that. And now Magic is yet again in the driver's seat. He's going to be getting up to full population really, really soon. The Yinglong spots some villagers over here. Gets that slow. Once the villagers are slowed, they will all go down. They can't escape this bad boy. And moving at 4.5 speed versus the 3.6 speed priests, the only real way to kind of counter this is to get a temple up or use your town center and be deleting the priests as they as the units come out of the town center. It might sound silly, but it's well worth it. It's well worth it to do that. You can get the priests out of this town center as the Yinglongs are moving around, and you can cut him off in the middle, so he's got no real escape route. But on this map, it's even harder because he can move out onto the forest here. You can get some Phoenix out to try and deal with it. I'm not sure exactly how well the Phoenix do there, but nonetheless, Magic pushing in. We do see an attempt to go into Camel Riders. I'm not sure about the Camel Riders. They're not going to do well against the Dow Swordsman. They will kill off those Fire Archers pretty nicely, but I'm not sure how much it matters. As Kvoth's population starting to fall, Magic's army starting to look incredibly tough to beat. The Halberdiers also coming through. The Fire Archer's huge. The Dow Swordsman absolutely gigantic here as well. Siege crossbows also starting to come through to try and take out buildings and everything else. Meanwhile, the Halberdiers, once they get on top of the Chariot Archers, you really can't allow this. Sure, it's 5 speed apiece, but you've got to have some sort of a front line for the Halberdiers. Just why making those Axemen was such a good idea beforehand. But now there's no Axemen here. And the Chariot Archers are all going to get taken out, and Kvoth has got what looks to be 2 Migdols left, not empowering with the Pharaoh either. He's got himself a handful of barracks, but no real food income. And no real ability to continue to produce units in this game. And this is going to allow Magic the victory here, it looks like. And in that moment, Magic does tap out. And Kvoth finds the dub. A well-played game by Magic. Kvoth, I mean, he went for this fast Mythic. He got punished for it. Magic knew it was coming. He just goes in and attacks. And with his units here, he's able to get the damage done. He forces out the defensive meteor. And from then, he can just continue to take the map, get to this position. And even so, I think Kvoth was probably able to continue here. But unit comp-wise, control-wise, just not able to continue and take good fights against what Magic was building here. But nonetheless, a well-played game by Magic, well-played series by Magic. Better luck to Kvoth for the next tournament. Magic going to be moving into the losers finals now to meet the loser of Mr. versus Recon. Can't wait to see it. We'll see how things are going to go. If you guys are enjoying, make sure you hit the follow button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you leave some comments, and we'll see you guys in the next one.